Hi, I'm Chris from Northern Brewer, and today I'm going to show you how to brew an all-grain batch using the Megapot 1.2. The first step of assembly, install the bulkhead and valve in the lower hole on the kettle. First thing you do is take off the ball valve, and then unscrew the lock nut, and then remove one of the two O-rings. From there, you're going to feed the bulkhead through the pot and out the other side. Replace the O-ring on the outside, and then add the lock nut with the groove side towards the O-ring, because the O-ring is going to seat inside that groove. And you want to just loosely hand tighten this so you don't torque or break the O-rings. And once you get it tightened down, you're going to finish tightening it from the inside of the pot, and then screw your valve back on and tighten that. And you will notice it will be a little loose just because of the O-rings, but that should be fine. You want the O-rings to kind of seal up that hole. The next step is the thermometer. Take the lock nut off the back and one of the O-rings. And the next parts that should be on there, the washer should be the first thing on. Next would be the O-ring. Feed that through from the outside, placing the O-ring on the inside first, and then the washer, the nut with the groove side towards the washer. And once you get it almost tight, make sure your thermometer is straight, and then give it just a little extra tightening. And again, don't over tighten because you won't need it. Okay, so now that we have the ball valve and thermometer installed in the kettle, this is ready to go for your boil kettle or your hot liquor tank. Today we're going to use this one as a mash tun. To do that, we're just going to add our false bottom, perforated, so that you can filter out the grain bed. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop it in at kind of an angle to get it underneath the thermometer probe, and then just drop it straight down. And it's all set. Okay, now that we have our mash tun all put together and we filled it with our strike water and it's up to the temperature that we need it at, we're going to go ahead and add our grains. So now that we have the mash temperature that we want, you can go ahead and add your lid, keep all the heat in there, and obviously with the thermometer we can monitor the temperature without having to take the lid off continually to lose all that internal heat. Because you can heat the vessel itself with the triclad bottom, is you can actually do multi-step mashes with direct fired heat. So you can do protein rests and sacrification rests and mash outs just using the kettle and the burner by either recirculating or stirring really well to get those more complex mashing schedules to get more out of the mashing process. So now our mash is all done, and we're going to go ahead and move into the recirculation or the Vorloft stage. So we're going to go ahead and remove our lid here, and thanks to the nice silicone handles, it's not hot at all, so you can just pull that off. And then we're going to use the ball valve here and run it off slowly, about maybe 2 to 3 quarts at a time, and then recirculate it into the top of the mash, being careful to pour it in slowly and not disturb the grain bed. We're going to set up our hot liquor tank, which we have up here. It's just your sparge water at 170 degrees, and we're going to hook up a hose with a siphon sprayer just to break up the flow of water into the thing so it doesn't disturb our grain bed. And then from the mash tun, we're going to attach a hose that will run into our boil kettle. We're going to start the sparge by slowly opening the hot liquor tank and start it at a slow kind of pace. While your sparge water is running into the top of your mash tun, we're going to start the flow into the boil kettle at the same flow rate. And this is easily done with the ball valve on the mash tun. on your Megapot 1.2. And you can go back and forth and adjust your sparge water and your mash tun flow so that they're even. Okay, we've emptied our mash tun into our boil kettle and got our pre-boil volume. It was easy to see with the graduation marks in the inside of the kettle. Also, less will boil off with the Megapot 1.2 because the kettle is taller and thinner than most other kettles. The Megapot 1.2, with all of its features, gives you the ability to control your mashes better and also to do more complex mashes so that you can brew the best beer possible. Hi, I'm Chris from Northern Brewer, and today I'm going to show you how to brew an all-grain batch using the Megapot 1.2. The first step of assembly, install the bulkhead and valve in the lower hole on the kettle. First thing you do is take off the ball valve, and then unscrew the lock nut, and then remove one of the two O-rings. From there, you're going to feed the bulkhead through the pot and out the